Thank you so much, Vinod and Vishak, for joining us on this podcast. We've got a very interesting session, today, and I've been in touch with Vinod. His passion for HR has been kind of beyond words and comes with a great experience. So before delaying, would like to give a formal introduction of both the gentlemen. Vinod Krishnan is a seasoned transformation leader. He comes with over 2 decades of experience across organizations like IBM Daksh, ICICI Prudential, Monster.com, Arvindo Pharma, and CK Birla Group. He has also contributed to national skilling and education initiatives through the National Skill Development Corporation and leading academic institutions like IIM Kozhikode and Kellogg School of Business. He combines deep corporate consulting and sporting association experience. He specializes in leadership development, operational excellence, and which kind of drives measurable organizational change. I welcome you, Vinod. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Rishikesh. Thank you. Thank you for a warm and kind welcome. Thank you.
Now we'll go to Vishak. Vishak is a business and a sports ecosystem professional. He comes with an experience spanning global financial services and international sporting bodies, including HSBC and Association of Tennis Professionals. He plays an active role in advancing emerging and professional sports through his involvement with the Indian Pickleball League and Kerala State Tennis Association. Vishak brings a unique perspective at the intersection of corporate leadership, sports performance, and experiential leadership development. Welcome you, Vishak, as well.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Chi.
Now, the first thing, while we were going through the entire concept that Vinod and Vishak you have designed is that, and we were thinking like every organization wants to transform and every leader wants to improve. But, you know, as you say that, the real transformation rarely happens at 100 degrees. It happens in the extra 4 degree. You both, kind of bring over 100 years of combined corporate consulting and sports leadership experience across different organizations. And you are the mind behind 104 COE and an innovative leadership transformation approach called Play Shop. So, first of all, we welcome you to this Dawdle podcast. And the first question that we have is, what is 104? Vinod, let's start with this obvious question. What is 104? Why not 100?
Sure. Thank you. And thanks for setting it up so beautifully. I can see that the passion, energy transfer is already happening. So thanks, Rishikesh, for, having us and, being so kind with your generous introduction. 104 is a scientific concept. Water seldom changes from water to steam at 100 degrees. It happens only in laboratory conditions when everything is perfect at sea level, at one atmospheric pressure with no impurities. And that sort of symbolizes it's an analogy to change. Everybody wants to change. Everybody wants to transform at an individual capacity or even at a organization level. But you can see just like water needs another 4 degrees to take care of and to compensate for the dissolved solvents, impurities, toxins, etc. Similarly, individuals also burn a lot of time, money, additional resources. Organizations do that when they want to change. Say they're going digital, or they want to set up operations in a new country, or they want to launch a new product. Any change that you're looking to make comes at a very, very steep cost. And with our experience between Vishak, myself, and some of our other partners who are working with us, we are able to spot that. See, the Japanese call it muda, which is waste, mura, which is variation, and mori, which is overburden. So we are able to spot that through our analysis and through our diagnostics, and we can help organizations identify those wastes, those variations, those overburdens. Basically, what we call as non-value adding elements. We can identify that and we can help them mitigate that, saving time, saving money, saving resources, and giving back to the organization. So that's the value addition that we want. So that's the focus of 104. Also, it's always important to be able to try to your organization, if it is positioned in the right way, the message goes very clearly to the client and the customer saying that, what is it that this group of people are going to add value for. So that's my perspective. Over to Vishak.
I would like to add on by saying that, it's extremely important for us to go through a change. Whether you are in an organization, you definitely would like to see change. So as we say, right, the only constant in life is change, right? So we always would like to see change for us to transform individually. The organizations would like to change. So what we are trying to do as part of Play Shop, as Vinod already explained, it to see where we can identify those changes and help the organizations navigate in the right manner and help scale or transform the individuals who are sort of part of that organization as well. When the individual grow, the organization grows. So that is how we would like to play. And Play Shop is an extremely important platform for any organization who is looking to navigate through change.
Yes. And whenever it comes to change, people get worried. Like, even in our personal life, we don't want to change things. But change is an inevitable is as inevitable as it can be, as Vishak was talking about. That's the only thing which kind of remains constant. So I was kind of, walking through the garden in the morning, and I was thinking that why these trees, shed the leaves, and they're okay with that. Means they're completely fine with it because they know that after some time the leaves will come back, the flowers will grow again. But we humans kind of become afraid when we see something falling apart or something not working out. So related to this is a question is that change is constant, but most of the organizations struggle with it. Why?
So let me just give you my perspective, because it's an area I work very, very closely, because being a part of HR, part of learning and development. Also, I've worked in sales and operations. So you gave a very beautiful analogy. You looked up at the sky. So I'll look a little beyond the tree as well.
Yeah.
You look up at the sun. The sun moves a zodiac sign every month. So the
Yes.
sun also changes positions every month. That's how you have 12 months of the year. The moon changes one nakshatra or constellation almost every day.
Hmm.
And you have sunrise and you have moonrise that gives rise to the next day as well. So
Yes.
nature understands change very well and is very comfortable with change. Now, as a human being, you probably have reached a certain level in life. You probably reached a stature in life. I know there are designations, general managers, vice presidents, CXO, CEO, etc. You've reached that position in life,
Yes.
and now you've got to hold on to it. So if you become vulnerable, and change always makes you vulnerable, because you got to drop those old habits. Like you said, the leaves are getting shed and you got to pick up new habits. That's what the eagle does, right? Many people are not comfortable being vulnerable in the public eye. So that is where you start from. Every change starts from the people who are involved, the key people who are involved, leadership who is involved. So we always say change starts from the top.
Yes.
So if the top floor is comfortable, the shop floor will see change. And that's why whenever we're talking about leadership development, leadership change, the entire spectrum is changing today. Initially, 20, 25 years ago, when I saw leadership development, it used to happen in a classroom. Some big trainer or guru or coach would come, he would or she would sermonize 7 habits of highly effective people, 10 commandments for leadership. That all that used to happen. We used to write notes and we used to go back. Then somebody realized, okay, this is not working. Let's the participants in the middle and make it a workshop. Make them acquire those habits, role play, simulation, case studies, and try and make the quality stick. What Bishak and I come up with is we've gone up the ante on that. Said that the workshop also is now coming to its close to its expiry date. Now we're going to come to Play Shop. So Vishak is probably much better at saying this because he's still active. He's just won a tournament in Trivandrum, so he'll talk to you about it. When you are playing a sport, circumstances get maximized. It's like the closest you can come to going to war. Only a soldier will be able to tell us that. But a sportsman comes very close to that because it is a warlike situation. You're battling the opponent, you're battling yourself, all that is happening. So in play shop kind of environment that we talk about, the scales get lifted. The ante gets lifted. What's at stake? Even if you're playing a game of carom against your best friend or your cousin, there is going to be a moment when the laughter stops and the eyes start getting focused and it's become serious. When you're playing against your brother, actually it happens more when you play against your brother.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do with Play Shop. It's very, very carefully curated play. It will involve popular sports. When people compete against each other, there's a saying, you'll find out more about a person in an hour of sport than in a whole year of relationship. So that's the perspective that we're trying to build.
That is such a great. Yep. Vishak, your perspective.
I think Vinod covered it very beautifully. So the only thing that I would like to probably add is the fact that Play Shop would be one of the best in class immersive learning experience for any corporate professionals, whether they are looking to grow in their career or whether they are looking to contribute in a positive manner to the organization, or whether they are looking to get the better of their personal life as well, right? So this platform would probably give them everything, right? So as the name itself says, play shop, right? So it's not that you are coming to shop or anything, but you will be having curated sports experiences, and with each of the sport we will also be giving them some reflections of how they have fared and what are the learning experiences that they can get, right? All of that will be given to them in a sort of gamified experience, right? Which I don't think there is anywhere anyone is actually doing it at the moment, right? So this is going to be engaging, this is going to be immersive, and it's going to be extremely interactive as well. It's not going to be something where you are sitting in a classroom and then someone is coming and teaching you something. Here you are going to see your worst and you are going to see your best. And I always say this: to become your best you have to see your worst. And play show is that platform where people will see their worst as well as their best, and we are just going to be the moderators. I mean, we along with our partners will just try and support each of them, and will be individually hand holding each of the participant and go through the best transformative experience that they have seen any time in their life. That's all that I can say.
There was a professor who used to teach us in FMS Delhi, and he used to tell us is that you guys today will not carry any mobile phones, no wallets, nothing. Go out, move around Delhi, go to Chandni Chowk, CP, wherever you want to go, and come back in the evening and tell me how much did you earn. So nothing like, forget about your education and all those things. So we used to go out, we used to convince the e-rickshaw wala that, let us drive that e-rickshaw for one round and we'll share the revenue with you. We used to go and teach tuitions for say 1 or 2 hours here and there. We used to even clean cars. Wherever we used to find a dirty car, we used to go to the owner, we'll ask. And then in the evening, very proudly, we'll come back. We're studying in like one of the topmost colleges in India. We used to come back and tell that, sir, I have earned 300 rupees. I've earned 500 rupees. And that professor used to tell us, you know what? You can never learn in 2 years of MBA what you learned today. And this is what he used to keep on doing it every month. And you will be surprised, sir, this habit was such that even when I got placed at Vedanta PLC and I was working with Anil Agrawal in the CEO office, I used to take my wife on a Saturday to CP, which is, I think, in the center of Delhi. And I used to make her sit in Behrouz Biryani. I still remember 2018. And I used to tell that this is the tea that I have, kind of made at home. I used to carry that tea, make some, cups. And I used to kind of paste ISRO mission on the top of it. Used to go around CP and sell it for 2 hours. And I was kind of, so-called an elite employee of a very big organization, studied from a big college, but that habit carried itself. And then after 2 hours, I will come back. I will give all the change to my wife. Like, this is the 500 rupees that I want, chinchi, chichi, chichi, all those things. I used to feel very happy. Oh my God, forget about the salary that I'm getting, but this money that I earned by selling a tea at a premium, 20 rupees ka 50 rupees because ISRO mission is there. And I can relate, when you start doing things like this, you learn more about leadership, about change, about I get very, surprised when I see these days a lot of folks coming out of top B schools. They're not willing to step out. They are kind of in kind of a cocoon, they want to live in of the elitism and all that. But the great leaders that I've worked with, including you, Vinod, you have been a great leader as well. I've seen them, their aura is such that you feel very comfortable when you're walking around them. And, so this is a great stuff. I thought I will share this, story with you guys. Also, kind of a follow up on this thing is that, can you give a few example of how this thing applies in real business scenarios?
And please give our respects to your professor. I think he's a real he's a real guru. That the word is that, not the one who removes the darkness and gives the light.
Yes.
Application oriented. You're reminding me of my professor in Oberoi Center of Learning and Development, Dr. Joe Manamalan. So this is the second time I'm taking his name in the last 1 week.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him to pay me some royalty.
It's all business now.
He's supposed to call me sometime this week. See practically when you look at it. Say for example, if you see there's an organization that is struggling with the lead generation to sales closure cycle. Let's say they're struggling with that. Something is wrong in the process. No? Either you're not meeting the right customers, or you're not selling it correctly, or you don't know enough about the product, or you're not selling the product correctly, something will be wrong with the CRM, so there's a lot of, if you break it down, and if you sit with that organization, you break it down and you do the value stream mapping like we do in, in lean thinking. So you will understand, okay, this leads to this, leads to this. You understand, you do the cause and effect, and you'll figure out that, okay, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Similarly, if you do that, you need to have very structured thinking, thought process. When you play sport teaches you structured thought process. So I'd shared one video, and maybe we can do that on a pool table. How do you construct a game? How do you construct a break? How do you think of the next shot, and how do you think of the shot after that? Similarly, Vishak will also share, in every sport, you don't think only for the moment. You do it when you're a very novicial player.
Yes.
But you've heard, the great batsmen, the world, the commentators will say, the batsman is making the bowler bowl exactly where he wants it, or where she wants it.
Yes.
Today, our girls are also world champions.
Yes.
So it is a lot of strategic thinking, critical thinking, eye for detail. All of this comes when you play sport. And these are transferable skills. You can take that into corporate very, very easily. Another thing that probably happens is that you get to know what are your highlights and your lowlights. That's what Vishak was saying. So I know that maybe critical thinking or eye for detail is a great quality I have, but maybe discipline may be an area that is not very, very high on my personality type, or on my skill set type. So this is what PlayShop will do. It will give you a very, very clear understanding onto yourself. And the model is created in such a way that you will get feedback from the facilitators, Shak and myself. You will get feedback from your colleagues, people who you play with. And you've been in enough sports, so sometimes the feedback can be very unsavory also. That environment is created, nice, healthy environment for sharing. Plus, we'll have a lot of external people who will be watching them as well. You get a lot of inputs and data points, and we'll make sure that it's digested in the right manner with a lot of positivity, and people feel good about themselves. So that's the way you take it into a practical application.
Vishak, do you want to add something?
Yeah. So I always say this, right? So if there is any medium which gives you a lot of lessons, it is sports. I always tell this to the parents that you always have to put your kids in some sports or the other, because sports teaches you dedication, determination, discipline, and you name it, you have it. You can't have all of this essential life skills from any other medium other than sports. So I've been involved in sports for the last 30 years. I know the kind of growth and the transformation that I have received simply because of my involvement in sports. And I would also just add on to what Vinod said, that sports teaches you to think on your feet, right? When you are continuously engaging or competing against an opponent. So opponent is also smart. He is also thinking strategically. He is also making his moves, okay, to get the better of you, right? So you have to come out and get the better of the opponent. So you will always be thinking on your feet. You will be strategizing yourself. All of this are kind of things that will help you in your corporate journey as well, right? And I mean, you have earlier mentioned a very interesting story, right? And you have also mentioned that we all will have to learn continuously, right? When you are in a sports, right, your learning curve will be reduced. Okay, so the learning that you need by engaging with multiple people will be reduced when you are playing a sport, because you will automatically figure it out by yourself that what you need to do, right? And the other thing that I would like to simply bring up here is the fact that if you want to improve your mindset, right, there is no other thing than sports to have you that sort of positive mindset, right? Sports is physical, a lot of people say that, but more than the physical aspect, it is the mindset that come into play, right? So how you tackle a defeat, right? How would you bounce back after losing a point, right? And sometimes you will have a match point. I mean, recent the tournament that I have played, I had 5 match points. I still lost the match. And I'm sitting smiling in front of you, but I know how I am tackling with that loss. And there are people who are talking to me and telling that, Vishak, you are an expert in losing from match point situations. And I take that and I absorb that, and I know that next time how should I play in match point situations? Should I be doing more breathing? All right. Should I be thinking positively? Should I be playing aggressively in that situation? Right. So these are the kind of thought process that I might do next time when I play. Right. So the thoughts is not going to get over in a day. Similarly, your corporate journey is not going to get over in a day. Every single minute, every single second, there is an opportunity for you to improve. Right. And with the help of platform like Play Shop, we are going to teach you all of those, skills that will be needed to master your A game. So
This is the need
one
of
more
the
thing
day.
to add here. One more thing to add here, right? So people, folks whoever might be listening to this, they might be thinking that you need to know a sport to enroll in this program. That is not the case, right? So this is, as I said, this is a carefully curated, immersive learning experience, right? There are people who will teach you the basic skill that is needed to play a sport, and we are not going to come up with the most difficult sport of the world, right? We are not going to come up with that. We're going to come up with something that any newbie can come and play on the field. This is all about giving the feedback. This is all about helping them understand, the essential learning that they can get from being involved in a sport. Okay, so all of that will be taken care by the team. This is facilitators and as well as the moderators who will be involved in this.
Got it.
So I just wanted to add one point here to what Vishak was saying. So now we have one more similarity between him and Roger Federer. How many billion people would have told Roger Federer after the 2019 Wimbledon loss? They'd called him the guy who lost 2 match points. So imagine the pain that you go through, that pain, like you said very correctly, is the best teacher in the world.
Yes.
That pain will make you reflect. And that next time, I'm sure Vishak will go with a completely different mindset. And that's what.
Yeah.
As they say,
Yes.
no pain, no gain, right?
Mm, absolutely.
The only
The
difference
other point
between
I want to
my
compliment
match and the Roger
to what.
Federer's match, just to add on, right? Roger Federer's match was recorded and seen by millions, right? But for me, it was me and whoever was there, probably tens or 20 people who must have seen that. So the kind of feedback that I get might be limited, but that can still pinch you, and then that can give you a little bit of pain, right? And I'm still coping up with that, right? And I'm still trying to come out of that. So absolutely, there you go. So that's how sports teaches you.
I will take a bit of pause here and will also want Vinod to talk about a bit about his experience so far because he comes with incredible experience across industries and institutions. So over to you, Vinod.
So, I mean, one of the things that I'm seeing happening a lot today, and in fact, I'm in Mumbai attending a masterclass with Professor Dave Ulrich and Professor Sriram Iyer, and everybody's talking about AI. There was a joke that he made saying that right from Star Trek in the 60s and the 70s, they've been talking to you about AI. So AI didn't happen today. AI didn't happen yesterday. If you see the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, you'll see AI there as well.
Yes.
So it's not something that has happened today. But one of the things that I'm seeing proliferate, decline, I'm using two contrary terms here, is the lack of human connect. See, what you're doing right now is very, very noble, Rishikesh. You're calling two people, bringing us together. In this process, we've uncovered and developed a small friendship already. And that's what we want today. 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds are able to crack technology. It's no big deal. My niece knows how to do Ghibli. My wife learned Ghibli in 15 minutes for our child's birthday. So tech skills are not going to be any challenge for anybody. In fact, Professor Sriram Iyer is teaching us today, saying that by the end of the day, you can go from a beginner to an AI practitioner in one day. All you need to know is how to articulate. So one of the things he spoke about is if you need to be a good AI practitioner, you need to know grammar. You need to know articulate well. So
Yes.
it goes back to all the basic skills that our parents and our teachers taught us. Today, amongst friends, amongst family members, for the smallest thing, we pick up a fight and it takes us forever to resolve that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
So
very
somebody said that, in this generation, we won't see poverty, we won't see war. But clearly, we are not seeing so much poverty because people are making living for themselves. But we're seeing so many wars happen in the last 5 years and over small and silly things. So, see, in our experience of working in corporates, we realize that many issue is interpersonal.
yes.
Massive issues in organizations are because two people don't want to agree on a subject
Vinod.
and two people don't want to agree to disagree. Yes. So, Mr. Oberoi, during my first part of my career, he told us one thing. He said, all of you are going to be managers after this 2-year management training program. He said, my managers don't run my hotel. My hotel is run by the gardener, by the housekeeper, by the chef, by the steward, by the person who's working in the butchery. So what is your role as a manager? Your role as a manager is dignity of labor. Your role as a manager is to respect them, keep them together, keep them motivated so that hotel can be beautiful. From that day, the only thing that I've been trying to hold as an anchor across the career is to manage relationships. Because like Vishak said, if you play sport even at some point in time in your life, you can learn anything new very fast. So you can go from one industry to another industry, to one tech stack to another tech stack, one science project to another science project. You will not have a problem. As long as you know, that's what sport teaches you, know, it teaches you to go right down to the smallest skill element.
Yes.
So I think that's what my, summarize a 29-year-old career. I would say that, you can move industry, you can move function, you can move geography. Nothing is impossible
Mm.
as long as you know how to work with people, deal with people, work through people, work with people. That's my sort of, if I can say, if there's a preamble, that's what it would be.
So that's a great message to the corporate world, because it kind of needs a huge bit of attention from the leaders as well. And you're absolutely right when you tell that, everything that we are observing right now, say AI, is already there. It was, I think, 3 4 days back, I was talking to a young chap, 22 years old, and he was talking about AI and all that. And I was telling, man, how many times it has happened with you that, you were driving a car or a bike and something came in front of you, and without you thinking, you applied the brake. So what is that? That's a muscle memory, right? Which is coming into action without you taking any action. That's a predictive thing, that your AI is actually doing based on the data that it has stored. So your body is the biggest example of the application of AI. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Vishak, like, you come from a very unique background. Like, you kind of, your experience uniquely bridges corporate and sports ecosystem. So how does sports influence leadership transformation?
Okay, so before I answer that, I just made up something while I was listening to the AI conversation, right? AI is in the air. So what
Uh,
whatever we do, wherever we look around, people see AI. So AI is going to take over the world. And if we learn how to coexist with AI, right?
mm,
It's going to be fantastic in the way, we will be seeing things getting transformed. So just wanted to add it, you know,
yes.
feel
Say
a
that
bit
again.
there, right? Yeah.
Say that again. Say that tagline again.
AI is in the air.
Okay,
Mm,
AI is in the air. Okay.
Okay. So Rishi, I mean, coming back to the question that you asked, right? I think I have explained already about the way in which sports sort of transforms you as an individual. So I have represented India and played tennis in the world tennis seniors championship. For me to get into that stage was a dream forever, right? Since the day I started playing tennis, I wanted to represent the country, right? And then various things happened. I did my engineering, I landed in a job, I have been working in corporate. It's been 20 years almost in corporate. So, but a lot of times what happens is when you are in corporate, you sometimes will have to keep your passion on the back burner, right, and focus on your daily corporate job, right? So but I
yes.
didn't want to stop myself from continuing to pursue my dream or continuing to pursue my hobby or passion. I continued playing tennis, right? So the reason is every time I play tennis, I
Mm,
always come back home with some or the other learning. So it can be the muscle memory, it can be my memory, right? So when I play a stroke, when I get a point, it always stays in my mind. When I come back home, also, I sort of rewind what happened on
mm,
the court and how I won, win, how I strategized, all of that will be there. And then when I go and be part of any meetings, for example, in corporate meetings where there are some senior stakeholders involved, when they bounce off some ideas to me, or
mm,
when there are some negotiations happening, I know immediately what I should respond. Okay. I
yes.
always think how I got this reflex, how I can
Yes.
immediately answer them. But I, at some point of time, understood that it would be because of me playing a sport, because of tennis, because everything is being done on the go. You get fraction of a second to react. A
Yes.
good plays tennis, so he knows how fast the points happen and how much time you get to react to respond, how much of reflex is needed, right? So all of that, okay, sort of helped me in terms of navigating through my career, right? I think whoever plays sport, I mean, it shouldn't be just about
Yes.
tennis. It can be any other sport also for that matter, right? You always get an opportunity to go back home with some
Mm,
or the other learning experience. right? So it will always make sense when you have a coach also who are actually seeing it while you are in action and giving you an immediate feedback, right? Or give you a takeaway message, right? So I mean, that happened to me when I was a junior, but when I became an adult, right, it was all on me to sort of figure it out by myself, right? And here for this play show program, particularly, whoever is coming to the program, so there will be moderators and facilitators who will be giving them immediate feedback. So that is an added bonus for them. So they can always correlate that with their corporate or their personal life, and always a message or a takeaway for every single action or step that they are taking on the court while playing a sport, right? So that is the reason I keep saying that this is going to be one of the best immersive learning experience which you will any time see in the corporate, right? Or change transformation program, whatever you name it, but you will never get this kind of an experience anywhere else.
Yes. And for the convenience of our audience, would also want to touch upon that if you can explain like what is Play Shop and what happens after Play Shop experience.
So for Play Shop, we will actually be helping the participants in three ways. Number one, as I said, we'll be giving them feedback. Okay, during the course of the session itself, it may be when they will be playing a sport, we'll be giving them feedback on the fly. Okay, so they understand, they get an opportunity to note it down. They get that, right. Second is after the post session, we'll be giving personalized, tailor-made feedback that will be shared with each of the participant. Okay, so they can keep that as a record with themselves. They can always refer back, and they can apply that in practical situations in their corporate life. The third one is this for me is the biggest and the best experience for anyone who is participating in this play show. That is, they get to learn things on the fly, as I said earlier, right? So whatever you learn on the fly, whatever you experience while you are partaking or participating in an activity is the thing that will always stay in your memory or in your mind forever. So the third sort of feedback that you sort of individually able to understand and absorb during the activity is going to be the biggest takeaway for any participant. Over to you, Vinod.
Yeah, Vinod. Yes.
No, great. Very beautifully articulated. See, that's the mind of a sportsman, He can break it down into small, small pieces and make it very structured. So, in fact, Vishak was just sharing with me saying that he joined this meeting just 2 minutes before he was doing another set of meetings. So he said, don't worry, I'll do justice to the discussion. So that's the mind of a of a sportsman. What we were trying to establish through Play Shop is that you need to develop certain critical competencies, whether you are a student, whether you are a teacher, whether you're a leader in the industry, there are certain competencies that you need to develop, certain traits. You won't keep it simple, you can call it skills. So whichever uh, school you go to, whichever college you go to, whichever corporate you go to, there are certain very commonly required, skills or competencies or traits. We call that out in Play Shop. So it starts with communication. It starts with team working with people, or what they call as collaboration. You need planning. You need decision making. You need execution. So whatever you put on the strategy board needs to, the rubber meets the road. That's when the reality happens. So it needs execution. And today, one of the things that we want to find or seed in youngsters is the entire business acumen. This country needs entrepreneurs. There's a beautiful interview with Mr. Mukesh Ambani and Mr. Larry Fink from Blackstone. So this is called Geo Blackstone. So Mr. Ambani says that in the next 10 years, I want to see 100 Reliances get created. And I'm going to make sure that that happens. Because Mr. Larry Fink, who's the CEO of Blackstone, says that this is the era of India. So if we want India to shine and really shine and grow, we need to develop these skills and competencies in the youth of our country.
Yes.
Today, the median age for the country is about 32. That means 70% of the youth are 32 and below.
Yes.
Whereas you have countries which are so-called superpowers which have an aging population. So this is an opportunity with you. And this opportunity didn't start today. This was seeded in 2009 by the then finance minister, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, that led to the National Skill Development Corporation. These next 20 years leading up to what we call as 2047 as Amrit Kal, this period is going to be very crucial for India. Because if you can hone the skills of youngsters and give them opportunities to express themselves in the world, take their talent and go and do something with it, either go work in an organization or take their family business forward or create a new enterprise themselves, then you see they'll be gainfully engaged. And we've seen economies where the youth don't get gainfully engaged, what happens to that economy and what festers in the economy, in the society. So I think it's very crucial that the teaching methodologies and the pedagogies always keep on changing.
Yes.
So if, like Vishak said so beautifully, if life doesn't stop giving you lessons, life doesn't stop teaching, then you can't stop learning. At the same time, as facilitators of learning, as teachers, we need to come up with something new. It's like almost like a director or a producer of a movie.
Yes.
If he or she keeps on doing the same kind of genre over and over and over again, people will stop going and watching the movie.
Yes.
So with this youth that is so hyper personalized, everything is very, very hyper. You have your own mobile, you have your own car, you have your own bike. Everything is so individual, and you need everything here and now. So if you're hungry, you have the OTT, you have the apps of the world, which will give you, which deliver food to you. You need to go somewhere, you click an app and you have a vehicle coming to your doorstep. So similarly, learning also has to come that way. Like Vishak said, we have to give personal takeaways to people. That immersive opportunity has to be there, and it will happen only when you have a limited number of people in the batch. So we're not going to overcrowd the room. It's going to be a limited number. That number may be anywhere between 25 and 35.
Yes.
Second thing is, it's not going to be in a room. It's going to be on a sporting field. So automatically the classroom has changed. Classroom is no longer inside four walls. In fact, there are no walls in this classroom. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, not all sport is played kinesthetically. There are a lot of sports that are played between the 2 years only. Like, for example, you take chess, you take bridge.
Yes.
Today, a lot of people are playing gaming. There's a lot of gaming that's happening, right? Shooting. We are also going to bring you sport that does not need for you to move your feet, but your brain has to move at 100 miles per hour.
Yes.
So the idea is to give you an experience that is very broad, and we're going to put people in teams. It's also going to be important to see how the teams go about strategizing this entire, what we call as an Olympic experience.
Yes.
So people will go into teams. They will work as part of one team for a few plays. So we're going to call each of these experiences plays. So we are at least looking at about 5 to 6 plays over the 2 days.
Yeah.
So for example, if Vishak and I are part of one team, we won't be part of the same team for the whole of 2 days. Sometimes Rishikesh and I will be a part of the same team, because that's what life is. No, I don't have the same boss forever. I don't have the same team forever.
Yes.
So again, you change organizations, you change countries, you change. So you have to learn how to work with new people, new circumstance, new rules. We're trying to bring all of that into into the 2 days. Yes, you can't achieve everything in 2 days, but we also want to give the opportunity of people to take it up as a journey. So there is a surprise that we're trying to build. We're going to have a very unique learning journey partner that we're going to create over a period of time. So typically when we do a 2-day or a 3-day leadership development workshop, everybody gets a personalized report. That is not new. That's there in the industry. It's been in the industry for a long time. We call it an individual development plan. But just like entrepreneurs, only some 10-15% of the people will actually take that individual development plan and own it. The remaining will keep it in a very safe, secure place so that nobody sees it and touches it, But the 15% people are the people who are the high achievers in life. But we're going to give that option to the people, saying that this is your so-called horoscope or kundli. This is what it is. This is your reflection.
Yes.
Do you want to do something with it? If you want to do something with it, we have that kind of hyper personalized journey that we are going to provide to you. Of course, the initiative has to come from the individual or the organization. But should they take that initiative, we promise you that it will be a very different experience that we're going to offer to you through both 104 and future sports and balance. Well, that's a small point I want to just make before, just to compliment here. See, today we are also the diabetes capital of the world.
Yes.
So a lot of the work we do is very sedentary,
Yes.
very intellectual. You have to actually wake up early in the morning and put an alarm saying that go for a walk. Today everybody's counting their steps.
Yes.
Imagine you play a game of tennis or pickleball. Pickleball is the new sport that everybody, you can fit a pickleball court anywhere.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk to the hotel that I'm staying in right now and say, why don't we put a pickleball court here? So you can go and play any sport, and that immediately reflects in your bodily vitals. So if the youth of this country has to be an healthy country, sport has to be part of the diet. So dietitian has to say, not go for a walk, but actually go play 20 minutes of pickleball or go play 10 minutes of chess every day. So both you have to stimulate both the mind and the body, isn't it? That's the perspective.
Yeah, that's a very noble thing that you guys are doing, because I think this will not only help country grow, but it will help country grow health, in a health,
Healthy.
and that is what is the need of the day. Because yeah. So what is next for 104 COE?
So basically, these are two sides of the same coin. While 104 is going to basically try to help in navigating change, a lot of that will come through very applied orientation. And Future Sports and Wellness is going to put sports front and center. So the idea is that we need a vehicle that is very, very mobile to move the country forward, to move individuals forward. So the future is that we're going to start with our first program on the 6th and 7th of March. So we invite people to come and experience this very unique methodology, unique experience. Like we said, it's not inside four walls, it's between you and the sky. So the sky is the limit in this particular program. It's going to be very interactive, very engaging. So that's the first stop for us, or where we start from. Of course, what we're also going to do is that as we progress, we're going to start hosting very interesting, unique sporting events. So I don't want to steal Vishakh's thunder, so he's the right guy to talk about it. Unique sporting events which will give you an opportunity to come to the event. So I was talking to a corporate the other day and said that, see, normally when you send somebody for a cricket tournament, it is typically the 15, 18 boys who play cricket really well. They form a team and then they go and they play the tournament and they come like it. So the only outcome is either you won or you've lost. But what if you had an opportunity to send a group of people to an event because you want them to get along, because you want them to bring back that synergy into the organization. So say it is group of people in manufacturing quality are always fighting.
Yes.
If it's production and engineering, if it's sales and finance, right? So you bring people together with a purpose and send them to these curated sports events, which is going to be run by Future Sports and Wellness. And what will happen there is what probably Vishak will touch upon, saying that how do you prepare people to do well? So that's going to be the next set of what you will hear from us in the next few days is going to be a set of play shop, programs that will be run, and it's not limited to India. It can be run in Singapore where you are. It can be run in Dubai. It can be run in Oman where I went to school. It can be run in Canada where a couple of our friends are based out of. Vishak's parents are in Canada. So it's something that is a vehicle that we want to carry from India to the world. Yeah.
Yes.
Vishak, over to you.
Yeah, Vishak.
I think Vinod summarized it very well. I think since our childhood, we have been hearing this, right? No play makes Jack a dull boy, right? So our intent with this initiative is to make India's corporate play, right? We already touched upon the fact that India is a very young people's nation, right? So the country is developing ups and downs because of the fact that we have a young population who is very nimble, very active, and contributing to the economy of the country. Right. So our though we are primarily focusing on niche at this juncture, we have some interesting ideas that's running within the creative minds of Future Sports and Wellness as well as 104. Right. So as I said, we want to make India's corporate play. Right. So then you can already sort of anticipate that we have some tailor-made events and activities that we'll be planning for the corporate, right?
Yes.
Because then obviously by being involved in the in that activity or preparing for that activity, automatically there will be a lot of lessons or training that employees of that organization or the corporate will be getting automatically, right? So that will happen. We also have something very interesting that we are working on behind the scenes. Touched upon AI, right? So we are trying to bring in the AI element also into the overall scheme of things that we are planning, right? I don't want to sort of mention what exactly we are working on, but so that is also something that is taking shape. So from Vinod's as well as my perspective, I think for the country to grow, I think there should be skills and development and learning that has to happen for the country's population. Whether you are young or old, I think there is always a scope for you to learn something or the other, right? And we are going to be that bridge where we'll be making that learning process seamless for all the participants, right? A learning play shop can be one of the vehicle for that. Corporate teams can be another vehicle for that. And you might see a lot of such initiatives coming from, this group, right? So all I would like to say at this point of time is exciting times ahead for everyone.
Thank you so much, Vinod and Vishak, for sharing this powerful philosophy and approach with our audience. And this is not just a leadership development, it's leadership evolution. And, you guys are playing a very important role here. And we, from the entire Dawdle team, wish you all the best. And we are always there in this journey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And
Rishi.
we look forward to hosting you in Hyderabad, Rishikesh. You and
Absolutely.
your family and you and your team.
See
Please
you
come and
soon,
enjoy
Rishi.
the Hyderabad